Hi, this is Kathleen Alcala, Paper Crafter. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to share this journal that I've been making, or lookbook. I don't know which one you want to call it. There's not an inch you can even write in this book, but it's so pretty I wanted to share it. So this is my book. Here's this, all the lace that I used. You know I love lace. This was a collar that I used on the front, and this was another collar, or probably, it reminds me of like a slip almost, you know, when you have that bottom layer. And so I layered that together. And I put in a little applique here, and then a little flower right there. So you can see the snap, I left it. I wanted to keep this as it was, the best of my ability, so I kept that. I like when things are not perfect. So I did layer the book with some beautiful paper, and then I covered it with this, I believe it was a tablecloth perhaps one time, and then I cut out these little pieces of some lace I had, and I put it there. And this is the side. I think it's came out so pretty. So I did use a piece of vintage lace, and then this is simply stunning on its own. Look at that. And then I had these tassels that are frayed and falling apart. They're very old. I wanted to incorporate them. So I did snip it so I could bring it together and actually have the three. And then I put a little flower and another piece of lace down below. I just love the way that came out. This is the back of the journal, which I think is stunning. It could be the front of the journal. I layered several pieces of this beautiful lace, and this is a different lace, but these two are the same. And you can see the beautiful paper peeking through on the outside. I love the vibrancy of that paper. I did use this beautiful dyed doily right here. So we'll go ahead and start. It is rather large. I thought about putting a tie so it could tie together right here, but I haven't really decided completely yet, so I'm leaving it as is, and then we'll go from there. This is the first page. Make sure I'm in shot so you can see it. It does bend a little bit because I was not the most delicate with this book. I actually never even came into my craft room to craft this book. I had a bag of items that I took to my friend's house to craft, and I just had all that stuff in there, so I just thought I'm going to use whatever's in that bag. So this is what I came up with. And so I crafted on my bed with my dogs lying at my feet. I crafted downstairs in the living room. It was kind of interesting. I've never done that before. I just, in between cooking, I would just stop and it was on the coffee table, and I just add some lace or an image. And so the whole month, I slowly been creating this. So you can see the beautiful paper down below here. I used some more. This is a pink dyed. I believe it's a tablecloth. I love the shredded look. I think that is just truly beautiful. And this is not vintage. That is a digital kit. And then I just layered a variety of different things. Like I have lace right here, or trim I should say. And I glued this pink over. I just kind of wanted this little paper to show right here. And then on this page, I love this. I did not want to cover that. This is fabric. This is not paper. I didn't want to really cover that much, so I used a very sheer lace here. And then I put another sheer lace here, and this is all vintage. And here, you can see I didn't cut it. This is just so pretty. It looks like a piece of old fabric that was torn into a ribbon. I used that, and then another piece of vintage lace on top. I just love the color combination. And I brought this to here. So there was another piece I cut and put here. And I love the vibrancy of the paper I used. It was paper that I had lying around. I want to use my paper up. And so I put her, I think she's so pretty. I did use some of the beautiful Amity Bloom washi tape there. I do have a piece of, it's hard to see, but there's a beautiful piece of lace down here. And then I added this little ruffle. I just felt like, because she was so ruffled, I wanted to put a ruffle and that cute little satin bow. I did put this here. Actually, this was had a tear in it, or like it was just ripped. So I tried to cover it up, and I thought that might be pretty. It's a very odd looking button, and I like the darkness of it because the picture is not real bright. And on this page, I wanted to carry through a ruffle because that was a ruffle, so I used just a sheer ruffle here, piece of this is trim right here, and another piece of trim, and the applique in this little picture. This is digital as well. Now, when I purchase things from the online, I don't know if I got this from Belinda Sharp or Petit Papier, but it came that way and I loved it. So I thought I'd put it in there because this is an actual advertisement for a thread. And so I just kind of connected that too. And I just love the coloring and the placement. And on this page, I thought this image was just incredible. I just loved it. I think it was beautiful. And the paper is that faded look. And I thought that was pretty. I didn't really want to cover the paper. And I wanted this to sort of blend into the background. So I didn't do any inking or anything like that. And I did some lace here. And then a little piece of applique here. And I love this. I think this is so pretty. And that's actually a stick pin. See, it can come out. See, I just thought it was really cool, the bead on top, so I just put it inside of there. I thought that was kind of neat. This is a bag. You can see it here. So I covered it with this beautiful sheer trim, and then put a beautiful piece of pinkish, like salmon-y pink colored lace down below, and then I just put some fun things in there. Just some tags and a pretty old-fashioned postcard. I like the old look. You could write on here, so I guess you could write, there's something to write on. And then I think there's a little old-fashioned card in there too. Just some different fun things. And I love how you can see through that bag, you can see the paper underneath. On this one, I just used that old, this is that Tim Holtz tape you can purchase. So I put 2 strips to hold this on. And then this is a 3D paper flower. I don't know if you guys can see that. And that is from Anna Griffin. I love to buy her things. I actually buy her stuff not from Anna Griffin herself, but from HSN, which is a home shopping channel that I like to get her things because sometimes you can find them on sale. I use a piece of, like somebody had sewn together this ruffle trim, and I used, this came too from one of my French packages. It's just like, it's pretty, so I just tied it into a bow. I'm not sure if it's sari silk or what it is, but I liked it. And this page, I created a fan, sort of trying to resemble the ruffle here with a piece of pretty vibrant fabric. I like the idea of keeping it springy and vibrant. Honestly, I think I started this during right before Mother's Day weekend. This was going to be like Mother's Day springy journal, and life got busy, incredibly busy, so I wasn't able to actually even do anything. I hadn't been in my craft room in like a month. This is the first I've been in here incredibly long time, since my last video. I put a beautiful piece of lace here. And then I put this image on here, which is digital as well. A little piece of lace. I love lace, as you can know. If you watch my channel at all, I'm always talking about it. And this image I thought was adorable. This is a digital. I'm not sure which digital kit it is because I've had it for a very long time. And then I used this trim. I thought was pretty. I love this paper. I did not want to really cover the paper that much, so I used this beautiful vintage or antique, I don't know, it's pretty old doily. And then I put this pretty applique on top, and I thought it was just gentle and delicate, and you could see the beautiful paper underneath. And I thought the girls were just adorable. On this page is also, I just put another floral digital image. I used some trim here just to give a little bit of color and pop. And this is a beautiful applique and a flower that came from an applique. And this I laughed because I forgot to cut here to make a bag, to make a pocket out of it. But I thought it's okay. It's just a crunchy page, which is fun. I use this beautiful piece of lace here that had this pink trim. This is an applique that I glued on. And then I love that little pearl, like a button that I put there. And I love how the lace from the other page pops through. And that's this page. Now this I thought was so beautiful. I'm not sure if it came from, I'm not really sure. It was just this size, so I guess it's just a large piece of lace. And I put some pretty ruffled trim and another vintage trim up here. And that I thought is just so pretty. I'm not completely positive. I want to see that came from Augustina. Sorry if I got that wrong, but I do believe that's where I got that from. If you go to her site, she has a website now that you can find her fabrics, and they're so easy to cut out. I buy the cotton and just cut out the images. It's really cool. And this I never actually glued in there. I had something else I did not like, so I will probably glue this image in there. It's such a beautiful image. And I love this piece of blue velvet right here. I just kind of crunched it and put it in there with a little peak of a flower. I also put a piece of vintage lace up here to go with the dark of, you know, this image. And I love this page. I love that cherub image. Again, that's digital. I love the background paper. If you notice, I don't really glue things in all the time because I don't know if I want to slide something underneath. Let's see, if I had a piece of, like, look at this beautiful piece of thing here. Like, say, for instance, I wanted to use this as part of underneath, and then gives me the opportunity to glue. And look how pretty that would be. If I was to cut a piece of that and glue it, and look how well that merges together, blends together. Okay, so I'm just sharing what I do. Another beautiful piece of interesting lace. Look at this. This was all one piece. I did glue these floral flowers on. Then I put another piece of sheer beautiful lace under here, which is also vintage. I wanted to kind of dull out the brightness of this paper. It's beautiful paper, and I love that it's showing through. Love that. And on this side, this is a piece of a doily right here, and then that's a piece of trim. And I thought the flowers are beautiful. The colors match, so gorgeous. This is digital, and that's another advertisement. And I love this piece of trim right here. Love it. I just think it's so beautiful. It feels so lovely. It was actually a big piece. I trimmed it up. And look at this pretty piece of lace here. I had to take a small pause right there on my dog. Come here, baby. So my dog is here. This is Cosette. I've been home for the last 5 or 6 days now because I worked 9 days straight and it was wild business. So my dog has gotten incredibly attached to me. She's going to have a hard time tomorrow when I go back to work, huh, baby? She's my baby girl. Anyhow, her name is Cosette, and she turned 7 in April. So she's getting up there in age, but she's still my baby. And anyway, let's see see if I can continue on. So this is probably one of my favorite pages right here. I love the blue, how it carried through. And then this again is digital image here, and that's beautiful paper. Move that, you can see how pretty that is. I really wanted to highlight the blue. Amity bloom flowers. And here I just had this little piece of crochet. I'm not really sure where I bought it, but I love it. And these little pieces here are actually kind of coming out, but I like that anyway. I like it when it's not perfect. Is this not the most beautiful trim right here in lace? Okay, you want it down? Okay, there goes Cosette. And I thought that is just scrumptious. Actually, I had a big spool of this blue, and I just weaved it through the slots that it had. But I love the way it came out. So I just put a few things in here. An image of a bird, and this old, this digital image. And then I love these old calling cards. See the name inside. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I just put those in here. It's a little pocket. So I want little things in there. This is a piece of trim right here. I just love it. I think that is beautiful too. So I love the coloring, how that came out. This could be one of my favorite pages. And the fabric that I used, I think it's just stunning. And on this page, I wanted to do a little bit different. See, I had this piece of fabric, you know, like a page, but I wanted to pop more. So I used colors I would probably not normally use, which is a yellow and like a green color right here. But I do like, for some reason, I feel like it works. I wanted to have a break in the pink and the blues, and I thought that was a good thing to do. And on this page, I love how the lace from here shows right here. And I framed this image with this beautiful floral trim. And I love this paper. It's stunning. And then I used a beautiful piece of lace or trim here. Now I purchased this from, gosh, I purchased this so long ago, and I can't remember her name, but she sells online. I've seen her on Facebook, and she sells this trim, and just, she's amazing how she paints like that. Beautiful. If I can remember any of the vendors that I purchased from, I will add it. I'm so sorry that I do that to you guys all the time, where I don't know where I got the stuff from. What happens is it's so old, sitting around so long, I actually forget where things come from. And I have so many digital kits. I've actually just, you know, erased so many of them because I can't have that many. What am I going to do with that? This, I love the birds. I really want to keep the birds, highlight the birds. And I love the idea of this dark right here because it was so dark blue. So I found this little piece of trim with the dark blue flowers. I did use the pink lace here because it was here. I just kind of wanted to carry it through. And here's another flower and another piece of beautiful vintage lace there. On this page, I had my doily. So I thought that's such a pretty doily. I ended up putting some more of that blue ribbon. And then I just tied it together right here. And then I put a little piece of applique here. On this page, I thought it was so pretty. This is, I didn't do anything to this. That's just the way the paper was, digital kit. And I put a piece of lace, and I love this. Now this is, I believe, the same thing as I tied here. I decided to make it sort of like a flower. I just kept tying loops. And then I put another beautiful applique down below and created a flower. And then I put another piece of darker lace right here. I felt like it needed something to break it up. And on here, I thought this is an adorable image, digital. And so I put some really cool things in the little pocket. Thought this paper is so pretty. I just love the flow of the colors. I did put another one of these calling cards. There's no name on this one. And I love birds, so I love that little image. And here was a calling card, an old one. That image fell off, just like how it has this image. There's one here. But I think it's so delicate. I love the way it's cut. I love the writing. So I just put that inside of here. And on this, I just did a variety of appliques, also a piece of trim yellow flowers. This was actually this beautiful image down below, but the image didn't really work with the look. It was a very kind of almost Valentine's Day cherub. Now this I went to a beautiful tea party at a church my cousin invited us to, and she made these. She put them on the table, and I love all that work she did, but I did put this little flower here over the image. But I love how she did that. It was a very stunning tea party. Very pretty. She did a good job decorating, giving us all these beautiful little gifts. Again, piece of trim here. And this page, I love this paper. Let me pull this stuff out. This is a little pocket. But look how pretty this paper is. And I thought this image just worked so well. I didn't want to do anything to this page. I just put the beautiful image here. I inked it, cut the edges, and then I thought this was so pretty showing here. I love how the flow here. I used a darker piece of paper here, digital, to make this pocket. And look at how beautiful that looks. Can you guys see that? It's such a beautiful piece of trim. I love it. And then I put this ruffle lace here, and I put another little lace with flowers here. And these, again, are those beautiful calling cards. I love the calling cards. And so I just slid those in there because they're small and they fit. And this page, here's another doily. This time I used pink, but I did not tie it. I let the pink, see the ribbon edges? I kind of like that idea of almost like a bookmark. So I want it to flow out. And then on here, I did put some lace and this digital image and more lace, more flowers, this little mini doily, and I put 3 little roses there. And I thought this little trim, ruffle trim was cute. I thought that was really cute. I thought that worked well. And this I made this, I had the tag, but I just put some beautiful, look how beautiful that is. I love this. And a button and a little piece of lace here. And look at that paper. It's stunning. I hate to cover such beautiful paper. That's why I just made a bookmark. And here I have lace, and then I put another little piece of lace just to do a little variety, to give it a little bit of a finished look. On this page, this is just a little CD cup holder, and I put a little beautiful little applique in there, the little flower. And I love the paper, so I didn't really want to cover it. So I used this pretty applique here, and then some beautiful lace. This is just a piece of fabric. I put another doily and a little flower. Look how cute. Now that I know is old Sina from her fabric. I did cut it. This image, I thought that was really cute. It's fabric. This paper to me is stunning. I thought the colors really matched. I didn't even want to cover this paper. I loved it so much. So I used again a little piece of that pink. I believe it was from tablecloth. It's the same thing that I used right here. So I just put a little piece here and a piece of, and I tied a satin pink bow. Simple, but I loved it. Now this, I love this image of the flowers, very Victorian looking. I used some trim here, flowers, and then I just put this vintage ruffled, I'm not really sure, it almost looks like it came from a blouse or a cuff. I think it might have even been completely round, and I cut it. And then I just put this little piece of lace right here to kind of finish it off. And I love this peekaboo fabric there. Okay, I'm almost done, guys. And with this, I created a little pocket, or not a pocket, but like a little fold over. I just love the image. I put some flowers here that matched her hat. This is some washi tape from Amity Bloom. These are 2 digital images. I love this perfume bottle image. And I just had this little scrap of lace floating around, so I just thought it'd be cute there. This is a piece of applique over another round applique just to hold it together. I put some little flowers, vintage or antique trim. Look how beautiful that trim is, you guys. Isn't that gorgeous? Ugh, love it. Love it. Okay. On this page, I had some pink fabric I put down here. I scrunched it up. Then I scrunched another beautiful piece of fabric and put a floral from an applique on here. And this is a piece of the fabric that you saw on the other page. That's the other half. It's so pretty, this fabric. It has little, you can feel the raised dots in the floral. It's just pretty. This, I love this page. It's different. Now, this is a piece of an old doily. And this is so pretty. Now, I purchased these. This I can find her name, I believe, and link it down below because she sells them. I love what she does. She embroiders. She does tatting on different things. So I bought this, and I'll show you. It's coming up. Another tatting she did on a little pin. I cut a piece of doily and put it here as well, and some vintage lace. On this side, this is something I had made at my friend's house when we were just doing stuff. So I used some of these strings or threads from Old Decina. She sells them. And again, I put a layer of that. There's a piece of pink trim or fabric, and I put it down below. And then I just had these beautiful pieces of paper, so I cut them in strips and then just decorated them lightly. So I thought it was a cute little embellishment. I love birds, so I use this image and just put a pink lace, some more lace down here, a sheer lace. You can barely see. I don't know if you guys can see this lace here. It's a white. Then I put a brownish one here. I thought that was really pretty coloring. And here is vintage music paper. I always love to use at least one piece of vintage music paper. And with her, she's a cute doll. It was like from from Anna Griffin. I think it's like a paper doll kit. There's different images of ladies that can put dresses on, and I love that. So I put a pink applique, pink applique, and then I put this flower and a button. And these are just pieces of fabric right here. I just glued them in. And again, this beautiful lace right here. I love this image. It has something written here, which I was not wanting. So what I did is just put a piece of Amity Bloom tape because I just thought it was pretty. And I thought it matched this paper. I didn't want to cover this paper. I love it. I love that striped. I love the color. It feels like wallpaper. And I just kind of wanted to keep it. I thought, like these old images that hang on the walls, beautiful vintage wallpaper. And then I added this lace here. On this page, again, I love the paper in the back. I put more of the girls. I thought this was really cute. I used some of that fabric that I had on my ruffle. Where'd my ruffle go? Ruffle. I had a ruffle that I made. Okay, I don't know where the ruffle went. Right here. So this right here, fabric is this fabric right here. Then I had this piece of leftover. I'm not really even sure what it was. I think it was a piece of clothing I put here, and I loved the raised piece right there. And then on this side, I have, again, another one of those little, just a little embellishment that I made out of odd scraps of pieces of paper, and then I just decorated it. And the last piece of paper, I added more of that pink trim, and then another piece of, I don't even know what this was, probably a piece of tablecloth. And I love that trim there too. I like the sheerness of it. And on here I created a pocket out of this beautiful fabric right here. I love this fabric. It's stunning. I just wanted to show it, so I put it as a pocket. I put some pretty lace here, and I just clipped on a little dangle. I thought the colors matched really well. And of course, I believe I got these. No, I think I might have got these from Amazon. Actually, they sell like drops like that in different colors. Of course, honestly, you guys, I don't buy from Amazon anymore because they dropped the DEI. If you don't know what DEI is, please look it up. It's very important, especially for women and people with disabilities. It protects them in their jobs. And so Amazon got rid of that policy. So I no longer shop at Amazon, but I'm sure you can find this kind of thing in other crafting stores. Okay. So this is, again, another old-fashioned calling card, and I love these old buttons. I don't know, I just love old button cards. I think they're really cute. And then I also had made this tag. I just thought it was simple and pretty, different. I love the colorings. I love how the color matched. And then this is just an old card, because I just like old cards and old paper, and I just thought that'd be cute to just put inside of here. Just fun to look at. I love the idea of pulling things out and exploring and discovering like little different things. So when I can, I try to add in those pockets vintage like this, vintage things that you just don't see every day. Something I really enjoy doing, because I know when people look at my books, they love to peek in the pockets. They love to explore what things I've put in there. This is not my favorite things journal. I know I said I was going to make one, but I do like this journal. It's just not my favorite things journal. There's a lot of stuff I love in here, but not every single piece is something I absolutely love. I will be making one of those. And I was laughing with my sister Diane from Diane and Danny at Home. We're talking about my sea journal that my beach journal that I've been talking about. She claims I've been talking about it for 3 years. I think I've been talking about it for 2 years. I apologize. I promise I am making a beach sea journal. I have all my stuff, all my supplies. That will be coming up soon. I promise you. That's so funny. Okay. This is the other half of that music notes. I just put this digital image of some lace. Not my favorite page, but I still like it. And this is an image of a lady, and this is fabric right here. This is also from Oldesina that I used, and the vintage with the pretty button and an applique and gorgeous lace. And here I just layered the different paper, and this image here, this came from Anna Griffin as well. And this page I thought was so pretty. Look at this green lace. Ugh, I love it. Just the colors. Now this here is fabric. This is paper, is lace, and a beautiful little embellishment. Just one of my favorite pages right here. Little piece of fabric I didn't do anything with. This is another page I really like. I think the images and the coloring is beautiful. Now, this was paper down here that I wasn't crazy about. So I got this large digital image to cover, and this was another digital image I used. I thought it was so beautiful, the coloring. And this lace I thought flowed so perfectly. It reminded me of like a collar. I just loved it. I just love this page. That might actually be my favorite page, I'm not sure. And this, we're getting to the end. Now, with this is fabric here. I put some old lace, several layers of lace here, including the pink and off-white. And this little doll was from a digital kit. I put I don't know if you can see this blue trim. I added that here. I glued it on. I just thought that looked real cute in 3D. And then I put a little flower in her hair too. I like that page too. This is the last of the page. I wanted to carry this pink trim all across, which I did. I used a piece of old, I don't even know what this is. It came that way when I just saw it in my bundle of things. And I thought it was so pretty. I loved it. So I slid it underneath because I had already glued all this on, but I slid this under that. But that would have been a cute pocket. Just glue here and here and had a little split pocket. That would have been cute. Beautiful digital image. I love the bird. I love bluebirds. This is like one of my things. I put some old vintage paper down below. The paper I used in the back, which is digital kit, is very gorgeous. And so you can see some of it popping out. And then this is a beautiful fabric that I used to hold the signature in place. And look how pretty this delicate lace is. So gorgeous. I love that. Love it. Yeah, that's it. That's my book. That's my journal, guys. I love it. I love the cover. It's like my favorite cover I think I've ever made. It's simple, but I think it's elegant and beautiful. All right, you guys, we are at the end. Thank you for joining me. It was fun sharing what I made. And I just want to let you all know that I'm thinking about you and praying for you. And I pray that you're having an okay time in life, or better than okay, and having a wonderful time in life. I probably will not be making as many videos as I had in the past. Work right now has been incredibly busy, and summer and springtime, there's so many things to do on the weekends, some fun stuff. So it's hard to get my craft room, but I will try to make as many videos as I can. But just know that I'm praying for y'all, and I pray that you have a wonderful, blessed time. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this and got some inspiration. Bye-bye.